Dalla.
I'm Rami Mataria.
I'm Elena Peterson.
And we are the Booler.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Joe and Martin. Joe and Martin are good friends, and they like to attend tailgating events together. Now, Joe has been there for a few hours, and he's starting to get a little tired because his legs, so he's been staying around a lot. And Martin just arrived because he lives a little far away. So Martin's thirsty because he was driving for a long time. He didn't want to make any stops because he wanted to make it to the tailgating event as soon as possible. And Joe, he's tired, so he sat in the cooler. When Martin arrives, he asks if he can get a drink. Joe's like, no, I'm tired. My legs are tired and I don't want to get up. Martin's like, I want to get a drink. The problem with this is that we can't get anything from the cooler without getting off. And the same thing applies for drinks and snacks. You have to move all the drinks and snacks off to get your drink or snack from the cooler and then put them all back on.
So here's our solution, the Booler. So we're going to have a cooler that slides out from the sides. And it could open from the top as well. So you could access the drinks and snacks from the inside while sitting on the cooler. Or you could put like the drinks and snacks on the top like as a table and then open it from the sides to access the things inside. So here's our competition. We have an indirect competitor as Yeti. So Yeti, one problem with Yeti is that it's very expensive. The highest cooler price on a Yeti is a $1,200 cooler. So we're obviously not going to get that high up. And then our only direct competitor is called Pull Coolers. They solve basically the same problem where they're pulling out like a drawer in a cooler fashion, but it's actually not portable. You have to install it like into a cabinet. And another indirect competitor is Igloo, but those coolers are just too small to even sit on or use at a table.
Yeah, so from all of our competitors, we try to create the best product that would kind of fix all the problems that are in the existing products. So for our UVPs, we have our unique dual sliding mechanism. As you can see from our little demo here, it's going to slide open from the side, as so. And that's actually a unique design. We found nothing like it that slides out from the left and the right. We have high-grade, high-quality material on our cooler. That's a high-grade polyethylene for the outside rotomolding, and then for the inside insulation is a polyurethane material. Those are the highest grade plastics and actually the most common plastics made out of the top brand coolers. And a stable foundation, we want to have a rubber bottom to make sure that you're not slipping, sliding, around when you're sitting on the cooler. You don't want your drinks spilling. And also, we want it to be lightweight and mobile. So we want you to be able to take it hunting, fishing. If you're going on a boat, you're having a picnic. We want you to be able to move it around.
So when we were researching our customer segments, we found the three most common types of customer segments that we could be targeting. So our first is the tailgaters because they most commonly use the coolers as either to sit down or put the drinks on top of it as a table. And then our hunters and campers, they most commonly also use it to sit down or put it as a table. And then fishermen and boaters also use it when it's a hot day, most commonly bringing coolers all the time. And then here's our market sizing. So for our TAM, we found it as the total sales of coolers in the United States. And then for the SAM, we calculated that by only having hard shell coolers sold in the United States. And then we narrowed that down a little bit more to make it our market share, to make it the 12 Midwest states close to us. And that's who we're going to be targeting.
Okay, so we're going to be marketing on these three social medias, YouTube, and Instagram, and Twitter. Already on YouTube, we have a video, just a quick little ad of how our product works. It's simple, but we plan to update it more, like better videos that go further in depth. On Instagram, we have a single ad right now, but we're still trying to get advertising around the app itself, so you don't have to go to the account to view it. And on Twitter, we plan to give brief updates on how the progress of our product's going. And we also want to do Q&A on that, so if potential customers have questions, they can just tweet at us and we'll reply within a day. And what's good about this is that if similar people have the same question, they can just view our history of tweets and replies. And they can see that they answer, but if they don't, they can just tweet at us. It's easy for them.
All right, so for our MVP phase, for our next slides, we're going to be splitting up into 5 parts. So our video, demo, customer interviews, emails, newsletter. And then the way the funding is going to go is we're going to ask for the money, and we're going to distribute that to an advertising, landing page, and explainer video. So starting off, we have a quick video demonstrating how it works.
The product in front of me is the Booler. The Booler is a cooler that will easily access your drinks and snacks, and you don't have to stand up. I want to demonstrate.
Yeah, can I get a drink?
Yeah. Just spray. You know what? Take some tips. As you can see, I was easily able to buy drinks and snacks. I have to stand up.
What a convenient product. Get the Booler, the better Booler.
And $149.99.
So that was our little video. And then, so we brought the demo here actually, so if we want to demonstrate, obviously, the same thing in the video, you just sit down, you can access your drinks very easily. And even if it wasn't me sitting on top, we could put the drinks on top, still be able to access your drinks.
Okay, so I interviewed 136 people, which consists of tailgaters, fishermen and hunters, and college frat boys. Out of the 136 people that I interviewed, 100% of them said that they would buy the cooler, but only 9% said that they would buy the price at a lower price, which was, And during the interview process, I actually made a cardboard version of it, what it would look like, and I brought it to a hockey tournament, which I hit our most common people, which were tailgaters, and they all said that they would use it. They could demonstrate it. It actually worked. Like, I put insulation in, it worked perfectly. So they got to use it, and they all said that they would buy it. I did post a Facebook question asking if they had any suggestions how to make it better, or if they would, what price they would shoot it at, and they said that with the sliding cooler they have some issues with, they're worried that if you open it, they're worried the ice is going to flip out. So one suggestion that they had was when you pull it out, there's going to be a lid on top that you can easily just pull over, so the ice can stay in and you can keep the drawer out for a longer period of time.
Alright, so after our post-interview, as you can see for the statistic, 136 people out of 136 liked the product, but only 10% really liked the price. So from that, we're going to lower it from $149.99 to $129.99, and we wanted to meet in the middle between our evaluation of our idea and product and the customer demand, because they wanted a lower price, but we wanted to keep the value of our unique cooler there. So we just met in the middle and we resolved it like that. And also adding on to that, after we conducted our interviews, we added an option to sign up for our newsletter, and that was for 67 of the people, and 59 out of those 67 people actually opted in to sign up for the newsletter for updates, emails, anything like that pertaining to the cooler. So that brings me on to the MVP phase. So for MVP, we're going to be asking for funding for our coding and development of an explainer video, a professional landing page, and a real working prototype. So those numbers are going to add up to $400 in funding. And kind of the goals of those MVPs are we can split it up into the three main things, and we can split it up into the quantitative and qualitative aspects of it. So we want to increase our market scale. That falls under the quantitative aspect. We want to, because right now we can only advertise to a certain amount of people, so we want to be able to get to a larger amount of people in our advertising. And more feedback, we want you to see their likes, dislikes, what they, maybe they like some feature of the cooler, maybe they don't like the other feature. So that falls under the qualitative aspect of what we want to do, and then we want to keep the customers. So once they click on our links, we want to keep them there with our professionalism, and that's obviously going to come with the explainer video and the professional domain that we're going to have, that we're going to work with. We're going to work with developers to produce. So here's just a quick distribution of where the funding's going to go. 30%, 40%, 30% for the working prototype landing page explainer video, totaling $400. And
so this is our timeline of basically what we're going to plan to do. So in January, we're going to reach out to developers and establish a domain website. So with those people we interviewed early on, we can send them to somewhere where they can view our product. In early February, we want to be able to have an explainer video done by then. So on our website, we can have this video, and then we're also going to upload this video on YouTube, so in case people want to go to the website. And then starting late February and carrying on in early March, we want to design and build our actual product so we can get it out to people, so people can see what it's like. And from March to April, we're just going to sell it and then build on feedback, see what they like, what we can possibly improve to make it a better product so everyone can buy it. And then May, when the pitch presentations, we're going to provide all this information that we gathered.
the Booler, better Booler.
Why wouldn't you be building the prototype first thing? Why are you waiting so long to build the prototype?
So the prototyping process is going to be obviously a more grueling process because we have to get like the materials, and then it's kind of hard to get all the manufacturing. manufacturing stuff done. So we think that it's going to be a swifter process to just get that development done, because we don't actually need the prototype to get the clicks and the videos. We're just going to show our video of the concepts, and then obviously the prototype will integrate later on, but we just think the process is a little longer there.
I think you need to do some research on the prototype too. I mean, that, you know, the concept is really good. I think the idea of showing the concept is you know, is progressive, but, you know, open that soup cooler side, what's that gonna fit? 10 cans of pop with ice? I mean, you know, coolers are big, you know, they pack a lot of stuff, and you got a clever idea to have something on the other side for sandwiches or whatever. But, you know, you need to think about how big a component you're gonna have. You kind of winged the price point. What makes you think, you know, 149 to 129 is gonna be a big, you know, motivator for people?
This one?
Yeah, it sounded to me as though you just said, okay, well, you don't like 150, we'll try 130.
Well, we valued it at 150, and actually Elena did the interviews, and she asked them like what price point would be more appealing to them, and they said in the range of more 80 to 120. But obviously, I think from the interviews, we want to keep the valuation of the idea like higher, because if we start low,
Good point.
we can always lower it from
Yeah.
120, but we can't raise it.
That's a good point. And really what I'd ask you is like, you know, how much do other coolers, I don't know what to think about coolers, how much do coolers cost? I mean, a big, nice igloo, what's that cost?
Yeah, so like,
$70?
so yeah, from our research, like a lot of like the big like Yeti coolers, those are going to be more like 400, 300
Really?
range.
That is
Yeah.
in the stratosphere of coolers. What's the more mainstream ones, like an igloo, like a thermos?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
did your competitive analysis find?
Yeah, so we found like a lot of the mainstream coolers, like Igloo and stuff, they're around our price point, maybe even a little bit lower, but that's obviously because it's more of a traditional cooler and they don't have the exact features that we have. So valuing our cooler under their cooler just wouldn't really make.
And I think you want to certainly continue to test out the pricing, but to the team's point over here, it doesn't sound like you've done quite the research yet in terms of pricing. What would this cost to make? So
Sure.
that's another important.
I like your stubbornness on why we're different, you know, we got something that, no, I mean, an igloo is just a big box, doesn't have any unique features to it.
Right.
That's a good point to stick with is, you know, hey, we're different and we command a premium because of this.
Exactly, and along those lines, coolers are used for more than just tailgates and hunting and fishing. If you've ever gone to Ravinia or an outdoor concert, those tables are quite elaborate, and you might want to consider that as an additional segment.
That's the
Not
first thing I
just-
thought of.
Yeah, not just people sitting on it, but that's a really nice function, and that might enable you to hold on to a higher price point.
I also think that my first perception of, I mean, I'm like thinking about all the times I've used a cooler, it's actually a really neat idea.
Yeah.
But my initial perception is, especially in this like Yeti craze we're in, like, hey, my beverage stayed cold for 16 days straight in the Yeti cooler. You need to, my first perception is this isn't going to be as efficient as keeping things a certain temperature for a certain duration. You need to market it towards the Ravinia tailgate crowd that only need to keep their stuff cold for a 4-hour window or a 6-hour window. Then they're not thinking about how technologically efficient the design of the cooler is. And, you know, whereas like a fisherman and a hunter, someone that may be packing for several days of no electricity might,
That's a different
you know,
market.
might value it completely different. They're
Cut
worried
that-
about
cut that
making sure
market
their
up a
meat
little
doesn't
bit.
spoil and things like that.
Yeah, so I think what Mitch is saying is you can segment the market further, because from a functional perspective, a hunter and fisherman, they've got product that does need to stay at a certain temperature for numbers of days if you're out in the wilderness. But the Ravinia crew,
I think if you had one of those at
Different.
Ravinia, you would have a line out your blanket. I mean, it would.
Put
Absolutely.
rollers on it or something?
Yeah,
How do you
Candlestick
carry it?
holders.
Candlestick
I mean,
or-
everything,
a
yeah.
slide-in where you can put your blanket and all that other kind of
Yeah,
jazz.
we were thinking about adding accessories later on, but for right
Yeah.
now. we're just-
Yeah, it's kind of a nice space, because I'm thinking like cooler versus you go to Ravinia, somebody's got chicken or, or fried chicken, you wanna keep that not cool but warm or whatever, you can have a separate component that keeps that warm instead of
Right.
cold. Hey, could you go over your market segment again?
This one?
No,
Marketing.
what's your,
Customer
yeah,
market, there you go.
Yeah.
and how'd you come about this?
Yeah, so,
So the TAM was composed of the total amount of cooler sales throughout like all of America.
You said solid coolers, right?
No, not,
Okay.
the solid coolers are for the same.
Okay.
Yeah, so we found those being the hard shell coolers only sold in America as well. And then for like our market share, we found the Midwest region, like for the only 12 states that we'd be selling to for now.
Have you looked at like outlets where you might sell it, like, what's a big,
Bass Pro or something?
Yeah, we were thinking Cabela's, but
Cabela's,
yeah, we were thinking trying to go with lower first because we don't think we can really get into Cabela's like immediately, like as they're like the top tier products. We don't think we can get in there like immediately, so we want to go lower first.
Have you evaluated the competition from like a patent point of view or from features? I mean, other people, have anybody else have the same features as this?
There was no Android cooler.
Pull cooler.
Yeah, that was the pull coolers one. That was like the only similar one, but that's actually not mobile. You just have to, it has to be like installed in the
And
wall.
heavy? It's
Yeah,
heavy?
yeah. It's like $1,100. Yeah, $1,100 also. It's like
Wow.
installing everything.
Sounds like a warming door.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you have any idea how much how much they sell? Not how much they sell for, but I mean, is it
Like the
a
volume.
$1 million market? Or?
No, we didn't actually like. Their website didn't really show anything. It was like a really small scale thing.
it also took us a really long time to find the website, so I'm not sure what that says about the actual product, because we had to kind of keep digging, like, hour after hour to find products that were like ours.
So Yetis are obviously, just a brand name. They're not worth that amount of money. What I see is you guys have a really, really cool name, the Booler, right? It really shows like a frat style thing. What I think is you guys maybe going mainstream to Cabela's and stuff like that maybe isn't what's best for you guys. Maybe going specifically to parties or similar places or just to colleges could really show it like as a cool brand name college cooler that then every fraternity needs to have a Booler, otherwise they're just not cool.
Cool makes you cool.
Because Yetis, you said Yetis are selling for thousands of dollars. Well, frats spend thousands of dollars on things to make them look cool. I say you need to make the Booler a brand specifically for colleges or for parties and tailgating. Maybe not just throw it into Cabela's for dirt cheap price and hope that a ton of people buy them. I think you really got to work that brand.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. That's why Yeti got so popular, is they had this brand behind them. So you have to build your brand.
And function too.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
Yetis are almost the exact same. I watched a video on the Yeti cooler a couple days ago actually, and they're pretty much the exact same makeup. It's almost all branding that has got them to where they are today.
1 minute.
Take us to your MVP again.
Yeah.
What do you want to use the funds for? There you go.
Oh, you want me to talk about all of them?
No, we just wanted
Oh,
to refresh our memory.
How would you do your prototype? Will you 3D print it? Are you going to?
Yeah, we're gonna try and go to a professional 3D print lab and get materials moving. And the calculation is based on how much materials.
So, in your MVP, can you at least get pre-orders? I mean, because I'm not seeing a whole lot of how are you going to demonstrate that people are actually willing to spend money on this?
So part of that was, we saw like people like the idea from our statistic, from our interviews.
But you
Yeah.
need like a pre-order and,
Process. On that landing page, you need to have some way they can order.
Yeah. For like our landing page, we're gonna have like a comment section box where they can like tell us like some feedback either on the video or on the prototype.
Yeah.
And we're gonna also have like a survey section where they could like tell us, oh, you just more, basically more feedback. We're just gonna be trying to improvise and provide, or improve on that feedback and see what we can do with that.
I think you want something even harder than that. You want an email address and a pre-order. The reason you want the email address is so you can contact them when the first products are ready, are ready for shipping.
There's a web app called Celery, and what it will do is you actually put in your payment information and all that, and it'll pre-order it. And so then when you guys actually have the product on hand, right, then it'll actually charge it to their card. So you have their payment information, they're signed up to buy it. All you guys need to do is get the product, and once you have it, then it'll automatically do their card
But
payment.
do you see why we're pushing for that? Because
It
that
demonstrates the
demonstrates,
willingness to pay.
yeah, a much stronger intent to purchase, so as opposed to, these seem to be like a nice group, I'll give them some nice comment, like,
Yeah,
can't
you
take
come
that.
to, you come to final pitch and we've got 100 or we've got 50 people ready to buy already. We have the
Yeah.
information. That's a little bit different than, we've had expressed interest from 150 people, you know.
Yeah, especially if you're looking for more capital too, you know, going to investors and saying, we got, you know, a big backlog of interest, that'll motivate people to support.
Are we gonna have a decision?
What kind of thermo material, the materials emphasized were high grade stuff is, you don't need special insulation or anything in between the plastic that you're using, it's thermally,
Right.
you know, it's thermally responsive.
Do I know if it is thermally
Yeah.
responsive? Yeah, it's the material that a lot of the big name brands use.
Right. So really your point of distinction is design, not the materials that are used.
Well, we want to keep it on par with, in terms of materials. We don't want us to be like low.
No, I
We're
get
sacrificing
that.
material for.
I get that, but what's really different is the
Yeah,
way it's constructed, the
Yeah,
design.
and design, focus on the design and making that design smooth and easy, right? If all the materials are all the same, then that, you don't have to worry about that. You want to make sure that it's easy to use, easy to carry, easy to move.
And that design will need to be patented,
Yeah.
so that is, it's, someone needs to do the research on that. But,
When it gets to that point.
right, but first order of business is try to demonstrate demand. So money is 400, do you guys really need someone else to do the video for you, or can you?
Yeah, what's the coding
Do that
development?
yourself.
Yeah, so we wanted to make a really professional explainer video, and we kind of looked at a lot of websites like Fiverr and some of those professional, like where you can connect to developers. And I'm not sure if you guys have seen like the video that Dropbox did. It's like Hog showed it to us in a class, and it just kind of explains the whole process. Like they didn't even have the product developed at all, but
Right.
they explained the process, they explained the product, and they kind of had a really professional design there.
Yeah, do you think that's gonna get you one more sale? That's
Yeah, I think that was part of our goals, was to get, increased awareness of our product.
And that's a realistic expenditure, $120
Yeah.
is what they charge.
It was $40 an hour to meet with, I'm not sure how long it's gonna take.
You might talk to Mr. Doles and talk to the students at BHS TV to do that. And rather than spending $120 producing a video, I'd rather see you spend that on some sort of media awareness generating vehicle.
Good point.
Judges would say you want that. Brent?
I'm good on $400.
Yeah, I'm good on
That's great.
Okay.
Me as well. Good. Good stuff, guys. Thank you.